How many viewers do we got now?
We're still at 6 viewers, so not a big deal.
Sweet. Constant following right there, man.
Well, we dropped to 5 and then somebody came back. So,
Oh, that's good enough.
yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on... Which map was this?
ESV Cloud Kingdom.
Sure, why not? In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Zerg player, TAWSubrat. In the top right-hand corner, we have our Terran player, Addy. And in the middle of the map, we have something that sort of looks like a weird smiley face between the two XenokillaOfTaw towers. This, of course, being a 2-player map, so both people know where they are. What do you think our Zerg player is going to do for this one?
Well, normally I would have a good prediction, but it's TAWSubrat, so you have to take into account the craziness factor.
Gotcha. So the crazy factor, always something to watch out for. Unpredictability, you could say. He even did the extractor trick just for fun.
I think TAWSubrat's going to 7-roach rush. I'm calling it right now. Now, I know that's not a good thing to do, but I am going to call a 7-roach rush.
I like it. What do you think our Terran player is going to do aside from build a wall?
Well, after building his wall, he... Oh, man, I'm trying to think because I don't really remember how Addy plays.
Doesn't he
if he
make
plays
racks?
like... Maybe. If he plays like most other Terrans, he's just going to reactor Hellion expand, but he's probably going to do some barracks thing, like 3 racks or 4 racks. In which case, TAWSubrat will lose, I think. It also depends if Addy scouts the 7-roach.
Right.
And I do think TAWSubrat is doing it because if you see, he just took his pool, even though it was late.
Right.
And he should be grabbing his gas in just a second here. That way he can throw down his roach warren and build his queen, and then get his 7 roaches out after that. But
yep, there he goes. That's a long distance to cover, though.
oh yeah, I mean, first of all, this is a huge map, which is one big reason you shouldn't 7-roach rush. Second of all, 7-roach rush is an all-in. Third of all, it's just... if they see it, you can't win. Like,
Right.
all they need is a bunker.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, we'll see where it goes. Yeah, it's taken this SUV about 15 minutes to get across the map. Yeah, so TAWSubrat doesn't look like he's going to 7-roach.
TAWSubrat's expanding.
That's a good thing?
Yeah, that's good, because 7-roach rush would have most likely lost him the game, but I like the expansion.
Yeah.
I don't like the build he used to expand, because first of all, against Terran you're probably going to want a 15 hatch because that's more economic and it's safe. You can defend a 2 racks or whatever with lings and a few drones before you get your lings, just to kill a bunker or something.
Right on.
And if he was planning on going pool first just because he didn't feel safe, which I completely understand because, you know, sometimes you just don't feel safe in a matchup. So a good build for pool first would be speedling expand. So he'd go 15 gas, 14 pool, or 14 gas, 14 pool, it's preference, and pull off at 100 and get speed, and then expand at 21.
Yeah, it looks like Addy did go mega racks. He's got 3 in production. He's got another one building. So is it economical to reactor up those, not reactor, but the one that'll let you build 2?
No.
No?
That's a reactor. He has 5 barracks, so he can barely afford to keep making the Marines, and he's on gas, which means he's essentially just wasting harvesters because he's not teching to factory or getting tech labs.
Right.
So... oh, he just pulled off a gas. Okay. So I think what he might do is just try to overwhelm TAWSubrat with Marines and hope that TAWSubrat isn't prepared, but TAWSubrat is throwing up 2 spine crawlers, which is really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's got the XenokillaOfTaw watchtower there, so he knows exactly what's about to happen. So he's got his 2nd queen down there, he's got his 2 spine crawlers, he's got his 3rd queen down there, which is more than enough to handle this little ragtag bunch of Marines.
Yeah, the only thing is those Marines might be able to kill at least one of the spines if he runs in there right now. He's wasting time. He's supply blocking Subrat, but once those spines get up, it doesn't matter. And Subrat made a nice healthy number of lings to finish off those
he
Marines.
almost got one of them.
Ooh, and 2 banelings too. He could go kill those right now. He doesn't even need the spine crawlers.
Huh, banelings, eh? They're deadly. Yeah, so it looks like Addy's pulling back. He was able to do some economic damage. Subrat's going to have to build more overlords before he can build anything else, but not too much damage. So now we're going to see what Addy's going to do after this. He's actually supply blocked. Looks like he's going to expand here real quick. He built a tech lab and another tech lab, so you think he's going to go Marine Marauder Medevac?
Well, I would think that. However, he's not building a factory, and he isn't. He doesn't even have one full gas saturated. And he's expanding.
Right.
So what I'd like to see him do is drop 2 bunkers at his natural choke, and then just drop his expansion and try to catch up because he is way behind.
Yes, he is. He's got both.
Actually, he's.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, he's not as far behind as I thought. Subrat only has 26 harvesters.
Yeah, if you look at the units tab, it's 2 mules and 19 SCVs against 26 harvesters, 10 lings, 2 banelings versus 23 marines and 2 marauders. So it's actually a nice bunch of marines, but of course they always get just basically evaporated by banelings if Subrat decides to build a few more.
Yeah, the one sticky situation you get into if you go Marine Marauder Medevac is that, first of all, you need to be dropping all the time, so your APM does need to be a little bit higher than the average Terran Bear who goes Marine Tank. And the other problem is that if he gets Speedlings and Speedbanes, you can't do anything. I mean, he's just going to run around your ball and make it so that you can't move, and then his Banelings will wreck everything.
Yep. Actually, we can check out the APM Subrat. Averages about 30, but it's spiking up around 100. Addy's hitting about 50. So we can see that he just kind of stopped his orbital command center there. He hasn't landed it yet. Come on now. Because the more that command center's up in the air, the less time he can harvest and the more ground he loses. Because Subrat's on 2 bases. He's pretty much saturated on the minerals. Not taking too much gas. Which is interesting, because I know Zerg are very gas-hungry for the more advanced units. So I'm surprised he has nothing in his Naturals extractor, and he actually doesn't have one built on his other one. But our Terran player finally landed his orbital command center, and so we'll eventually see a little bit of a drone switch. Yep, there we go. And then we're going to see what he does from now on. It looks like he's just building more racks, apparently. He's dropping another 2. So he's going Marine Marauder, and then he built a factory, but I don't think he's built a starport yet, so he's just kind of hanging out. So that's going to bring him up to, what, 8 racks? Yep. Well, actually, he's going to have 9 racks, which is going to be deadly, but of course, Subrat can counter that very easily with just a whole bunch of lings, ling speed, and baneling speed.
Oh, and he's getting a starport. He can't afford to even produce out of half of those buildings.
Nope.
He doesn't have the harvesters, or I'm not 100% sure if he was even close to fully saturated if he could do that.
It'd be tough. So basically, he'd have to double down and expand again, but it looks like he's going to do a little bit of a move out here. Maybe try to do some damage. Subrat, his defenses are actually, I mean, he's got 2 spine crawlers out front, and he's got a ridiculous amount of speedlings and a decent amount of banelings. So he'll be able to literally melt this Marine Marauder force here with little or no trouble.
There is a funny situation. If Addy's Marauders are up front, the Banelings actually won't do anything. If he sits in this choke and he kills all of the stuff. Oh, that hurt. That was a huge waste of Banelings.
That was a huge waste of banelings.
Generally the goal is to attack with your lings first,
Right.
and then have the banelings roll in, but Subrat just seems to...
Yeah, Addy hears you. He's got his Marauders out front taking the damage, and then he's got his Marines in the back.
Yeah, if... See, now Subrat's wasting all of his lings, and his banelings are going to do the same thing again.
Oh!
That was pretty good, but there's still so much left for Addy, because Subrat was wasting his units. Subrat's now going to be down to 1.5 bases, because he's just finishing his third.
Yep. Well, he actually might lose here if he's not capable. I mean, those...
Oh, yeah. He lost once he sacrificed multiple waves of reinforcements, one at a time.
It happens. Alright, so that's that match. We're going to put a little bit of music on when we go try and figure out who we're playing next.